Hey, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a Premium Bandai HGUC kit. Here is the Gundam Unit 04. I'm really looking forward to this. I really like this kit as a master grade. I was so happy that they finally came out with it as a high grade. Yes, it sucks that it's a P-Bandai high grade, but it just means that we're probably also at some point going to get the Gundam Unit 05 as well, although we're still waiting on an announcement on that. So fingers crossed, but I assume it's just going to be a matter of time. Probably by the time you guys will see this video, the announcement will come like the day before I release this review video, but anyway, we'll see. As before I pop it open, just take a look around the outside of the box here. There's not really much to see with it just being a P-Bandai kit. It's just basically just the title there. You do have a little bit more information about the Gundam side story over here. It says parts can be rearranged to create the normal mode. Say it can take off like the extra parts on top of the shoulders and that. Alright, yes, as we were doing, popping open the box to see what we got in here. It should be pretty good. Let's check it out. So we are going to have here 6 bags of runners and an instruction manual. As you can see here, our instruction manual is going to be pretty basic. It's all in black and white. This seems to be maybe the only 2 images of the Gundam that we actually have in here, just these kind of illustrations there, it looks like. So it's fine with it being a P-Bandai kit. I understand why they do this, but I wish they would at least give us like a couple of nice color images of the Gundam, even if it's a P-Bandai kit. I just like to have the guides to refer to sometimes when I'm doing my painting of the kits. Anyway, speaking of painting, we do have the color guide here. Again, it's not actually in color, but you have the colors listed there if you want to match the values for that. And then on the back side here is our parts list there as well. I'm guessing we're probably going to have a couple of leftover parts because I'm assuming some of these runners are going to be reused from other kits. I think like especially some of these parts were used for the Pale Rider space type, like the G runner there, for example. But then we have just basically a couple of leftover parts from the C runner, and that's kind of about it looks like. So actually not very much waste with this one, it looks like. Alright, and then just on to the construction, starting off with the body, and the head, the arms, the legs, and then the waist, and then going back here to the backpack, and the weapons, the beam rifle, the shield, and then the massive beam cannon. And then there's a little guide there about where to place the sticker markings on here. So it's cool you got some sticker markings. Would have been nice if those were water slide decals, but let's get into the runners anyway, shall we? Alright, so first off, our foil stickers, and man, you hate to see it, foil stickers that huge, but it looks like the blue sections of the shield are going to be entirely made up by stickers, so that is pretty disappointing. But other than the shield, it does seem to be pretty minimal there. It's like the eyes, head cameras, another camera over here, a couple little bits there, but it's just basically going to be the shield that's so sticker heavy. That's disappointing, but at least it's sort of minimal. We also have our marking stickers on here as well, which do look pretty nice. I mean, you got some nice marking stickers there, thoroughbred markings, and you got a couple different logos there that you can choose from as well, so I guess it sort of makes up for it with that. We've got Polycap Runner PC002 here for our polycaps in gray, our SB13 for our pink beam saber effect parts in 1/44 scale, and then this little red wire which will be used for the beam cannon on the back. Now it does have a metal wire inside the red rubber part, but it doesn't seem to hold a form very well. So if you want to have this pose in a specific pose, I'm not sure it's going to be able to do it very well, but we'll see how this works on the kit once it's all put together. So an A1 here is marked specifically for the Gundam Unit 4, and you can see it's just got a bunch of parts on here, and it is segmented into different parts. So you can see, like, for example, later when they make the Unit 5, they can omit this section of the runner, which is only for the weapon for the 04. So it's just a little bit of that. And then we do also have runner A2, which is a copy of this section here, parts for the arms and legs, it looks like. Runner B1 going to be our parts here in blue, and it's very blue. And then we've got runner B2 as well for a copy of this section of the runner here. Obviously with Gundam Unit 05, this runner would be red. And once again, you can see how these parts specific to this version of the kit would be omitted for the different version of the kit. Runner C1 is some joint parts as well as some hand parts here, molded in this dark gunmetal color. And then we've also got a runner C2, which is a copy of this section of the runner down here for some of our joint parts. And the C runner, by the way, is used from the Gundam Unit 6, which would be the Mudrock. Runner D1 here is back to the Gundam Unit 4 labeling for the runner here, and we've got just some more chest parts, shoulder parts, things like that, once again in this dark gunmetal color. Then we do also have a copy of this section of the runner here for runner D2. And then runner E1, just like with the Master Grade, is in this really awesome orangey yellow color, really nice. I love this color. And then we do also have runner E2 as well here for some of our little yellow accents and vents and stuff around on the kit, including the V fin there as well. Then runner G here, as expected, is taken from the Pale Rider space type, so it's got that marking up there at the top. This is once again just the fuel tanks and the shield there in white. And the same label here for runner H as well. This is in just a super dark gray color for the parts for the backpack as well, the back side of the shield, and then our parts for the beam rifle, and that's it. Alright, so as you guys can see, a good number of parts in there for an HG Gundam, but it's looking very nice and very nicely detailed as well. Like I said, I love the Master Grade, but I think this High Grade is going to give it a run for its money. Just while it's smaller, simpler, the MG is pretty simple as well. It's kind of old, so. But before we take a look at what the kit looks like when it's all built up, I'll just remind you guys to check the link down below to go to USA Gundam Store and shop online there if you like. You can save 10% off everything there using my coupon code ZakuAurelius10, so check that out. Alright, let's take a look at the kit. So here's the kit all built up in normal mode. I figured I'd show it to you guys in normal mode first before we transform this into the BST form, the boost form. I figure most people are going to want to display this in the BST form, but just for anyone who's maybe interested, at least just wanted to briefly show it to you in the normal mode. It just doesn't look quite as nice. I mean, it doesn't look like necessarily the parts are missing, but when you look at the parts on the backpack, you look at the shoulders, it looks like there's something going on strange there, so it looks like you definitely need the other parts on there. That said, the kit build is fantastic. This is a really super nice kit to build. I really enjoyed it quite a lot, so really looking forward to the 05 hopefully coming out sometime in the near future. But anyway, let's take a closer look now here at the Gundam 04. So first off, you'll notice I did put a few of the stickers on here. There's more on the parts once we get those added on, but just as for the foil stickers, we got the ones there for the eyes, the head camera, the fronts and back for those. Little foil sticker there for the V on the crotch, and then down here on the legs, you'll notice that gray sticker there. Otherwise, that's just white there. And you'll also notice I'm missing this piece here. Somehow during the process of building this kit, either I forgot to cut it off the runner and then threw the runner away, or I cut it off and it got lost somewhere along the way. This tiny little black part that's supposed to go there on the front of the knee, one of them I lost. But I'm not too worried about it because it's kind of like the easiest part to rebuild. If I lost like one of these vent pieces or something, that'd be a little bit more complicated. That's just basically a tiny little piece that just fits into there just to create this little black detail. I can very easily remake that out of plot plate. Not too worried about that, but just another reminder to you guys, be careful when you're building your kits not to lose any small pieces. And just before I forget, there is also actually another dark gray sticker there on the top of the foot as well. Now, speaking of small pieces, this kit does have a good amount of them. These separate yellow pieces there for the vents on the side of the face, on these parts, which we'll add on here in a minute, but that's separate yellow pieces there for little vents. So for 1/144 scale, the color separation on this is pretty good. It is missing some bits like these little vents in the front of the top of the chest. They're also supposed to be yellow. These little Vulcan machine guns here on the side of the arm should be gray. Things like that, these little small details it's missing, but for the most part the color separation is pretty good. That's all separate colors in there, no stickers in there for the chest vents. So overall, it's pretty good. Let's talk about the articulation, as this is also one of the finer points of this kit. So the head will go all the way up to there. It's kind of your standard ball and socket polycap neck joint there, but it's pretty good anyway. Upward motion, downward motion, pretty nice. Here in the torso section though, not really anything as far as forward and back movement at all, side to side, nothing really. You can rotate that there at the waist, but that's going to be about it. Although it's kind of okay because it needs to hold a big massive gun, and if you have too much articulation there in the torso section, it can be kind of weighing on that. The shoulder joint will swing out to the front a little bit like that, pretty good. Your standard polycap swinging joint there for the shoulder. Upward movement is only going to be to about 90 degrees there like that, again just because it's just a ball and socket joint here for the shoulder. But aside from that, we have rotation at the top of the arm up there, but then also rotation below the elbow joint here, and we have a double joint there in the elbow to get a nice full bend there for that. And then the wrist is just on a ball joint. Down here, our skirt armor is connected, but you can clip that apart and separate those if you like. The side skirts will also move up and down a little bit. Back around here, the back skirt is just fixed in place there, so you can't move that. Nothing else moves on this backpack either. Of course, the handles for the beam saber can come out of there, the backpack. That's about it. The whole hip section here will swing side to side, and then the hips themselves can come, the legs can come all the way out to the side, no problems with that. Rotation there at the top, and bringing that up to the front, up 90 degrees, no problem there. You got a nice double joint here in the knee for a really nice full bend there with that as well. I also just want to say, I really love the really sharp molding on this, like here, the angles on the knees and around here on the back. The molding for this is really nice and sharp, so it looks good. And then the front ankle armor also moves a little bit on its own. The ankle itself you can bring up to the front front to there, back down to there, side to side. You're able to get some pretty nice side to side movement there with that as well. And up underneath the feet, you got mostly detail with a little bit of hollow space up there in the front, but overall it's pretty good. So it's easy enough to pop this shoulder armor on into place, pop that on, close up these bits on the top and bottom to hold it in place. Here and like that. There you go. Now you got your BST boost shoulders. And the fuel tanks as well, very easy. You just plug these right onto there. Now, of course, the fuel tanks have a seam line going all the way around them. This is just two halves sandwiched together, so you'll have a seam line you need to get rid of on those, but those just fit onto there very easily, like so. For the beam rifle here, it's very simple, just all in one color. You got the camera that moves side to side, the secondary handle that moves side to side there as well. Two stickers for the camera lens for that. One yellow sticker that goes around in a circle, and then a separate yellow sticker for the center part that just sticks straight onto there. But I gotta say, for the Gundam 04 and 05, I really like this redesign of the beam rifle. I quite like it more than just your standard Gundam beam rifle design. So that is very nice. We've got the trigger finger hand, which can be used for that, or our main cannon, and then we've also got, of course, our two clear pink beam saber effect parts. And the shield, which is all white here on the front, so everything that you see blue is all a sticker, foil sticker on there, so that's quite a lot. And then this marking sticker, which you stick on top of the sticker there for the front of that. So that's a little bit disappointing how that couldn't be separate pieces, but again, for a 1/144 scale kit, I kind of understand how that would have been a little bit tricky to design the shield like that without making it too bulky. That said, the shield, or more so the shield connector for this mobile suit has always been a little bit bulky just because of the way that it needs to fit onto the arm, but this one it fits on a little bit differently, is that it fits onto the different part of the arm. Or I suppose you can connect it on here where it fits on the same way as the master grade, which is here on the side of the arm like that, which leaves a huge gap on the side, which is just very unsightly. I don't like that at all. So if you're like me and you don't like that, then you should be happy that you can plug this onto the side of the arm by just taking that part, switching it back around the other way, and plugging the shield onto the side of the arm like this is much better in my opinion. You also don't have the handle for that. The master grade has a handle that will come and hold onto the hand as well. This version of the kit does not have that. Then of course the main attraction is the massive beam cannon here. So you have a little foil sticker for that camera, but otherwise it's just all separate parts. The part separation on it is pretty good with the yellow and blue fitting around the white parts there like that. And then you have that nice red cable that leads to the battery pack, which will all plug onto the backpack here, as the manual recommends you to remove the backpack to plug this onto there to make it a little bit easier on yourself. That just fits underneath the backpack then there like that, and we have a holster piece for that, which will plug onto here, and then this should fit down into there. The secondary handle on here, by the way, will move up and down. You need to put that up to store this here on the backpack like that, and that's how it's plugged onto there. Now it seems like because of this wire, it's gonna maybe be a little bit not wanting to stay on there, but if you just move that the right way, it seems like it's a pretty good enough connection there. But I gotta tell you guys, I really do like this kit. It's great. The molding on it is great. The detail is really nice. The color separation on it is quite good for an HG kit. The amount of seam lines is very minimal on this as well. So as far as HG kits go, this kit is great. There's a couple points where I wish the articulation maybe was a little bit better, but for the most part, I think it's able to do just about anything you'd want it to do anyway. But I was expecting this to be sort of a master grade killer. As the master grade, I love the master grade as well, despite it being pretty old. I was expecting this to just kind of be like, okay, yeah, the master grade is great, but obviously it's not going to be able to stand up to like a brand new HG kits, because brand new HG kits are of such good quality these days. But I gotta say, I think there's definitely still pros and cons to them. I think while this kit does have probably less seam lines on it than the master grade kit, the master grade does have a little bit better color separation on it. The master grade has just better color separation in terms of just little detail parts, like I mentioned before, that are actually separate parts on the master grade, so that is points for the master grade. But then on the other hand, it has more seam lines that you need to repair. Then on the other hand, the articulation of this one is better. So as far as posing the kit, if that's what you want to do, this version of the kit is going to be better. The shield connection for this kit is much better. Again, I hate on the master grade how you have to connect it onto like the back of the arm, and it's such a huge gap from the arm to the shield. I don't like that at all. And I also just think like design and proportionally, this one is a little bit better than the master grade. The master grade is great because it's based off of the Gundam Verka, and so it shares, you know, the good aspects of those design proportions as well. But I think this one is just a little bit better in my opinion. That's just objective, but my point is that this is definitely not a master grade killer. But if you prefer 1/44 scale, I would recommend getting this kit. If you prefer to probably save some money and you like 1/100 scale, then I would say just go ahead and get the Master Grade kit, because you would normally think the Master Grade would be more expensive, but because of the fact that this is a P-Bandai kit, this is probably going to cost you more than the Master Grade. The Master Grade is pretty cheap. I think it's usually no more than like around $30 or something like that, which is a great price for that. It's a really great kit. So like I said, still very much hoping that they'll make an HG of the Gundam 05 as well. I'm sure it's only a matter of time, but that'll be great. But this is not necessarily going to be for everyone, as I would say. If you are a fan of the design and don't want to spend the money, or you prefer 1/100 scale, then the Master Grade is perfectly still viable. I think you don't necessarily have to go to a grade or a scale that you don't particularly care for, or pay more for this kit if you're able to get the Master Grade for cheaper or whatever. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for the support, subscribing, liking the video, doing all that. Sure appreciate all the help and support from you guys. Till next time, guys, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.